Hey everyone, I'm Justin with AmericanMuscle.com. This is our bolt-on build-up for all 99 to 04 Mustang GTs. We took some of your favorite styling parts and paired them up with some of our appearance parts that we really liked to create a look that would totally transform any 99 to 04 Mustang GT. The result is what you see here with our 2000. We wanted to show you how good your ride could look using the same appearance pack. For this appearance bolt-on build-up, we were looking to combine some classic throwback looks with a touch of modern styling. We put together over a dozen appearance and styling parts ranging from some American Muscle graphics vinyl, some new lighting from Raxium, and of course a new set of wheel and tires to create what we think is the ultimate appearance pack for any 99 to 04 GT. Obviously, any one of these parts would be a huge improvement over their stock counterpart, but there's some of these parts that are responsible for making this car look the way it does here today, so let's check them out. We started our build with the #1 way to completely change the look of any car, a new set of wheels and tires. We opted for a favorite of Mustang owners everywhere, using these 18-inch staggered matte black Bullets. Now that staggered muscle car look, paired with a deep lip of these deep dish wheels, is going to give us that aggressive stance that will really set the tone for our build. In keeping with the black on red theme we have going on with our 2000 GT here, we opted for this race-inspired matte black billet aluminum fuel door from MMD. Now this is another one of those really cool and unique parts we've come to expect from MMD. With that billet construction, strong magnetic clasp, and steel striker plate, it really adds a nice touch of customization to an often forgot about area. Moving around to the back of the car, you'll find one of the big retro styling parts we've added to our build with this honeycomb deck lid panel. Now this panel screams 70s muscle and really wakes up the rear end of our GT. The best part is it installs easily in about 30 minutes using a 3M tape located on the back of each piece. These last two parts are by far and away one of the highest rated customer items for these new Edge Mustangs and were an absolute no-brainer for our build. I'm talking about this Mach 1 Grille Delete Kit and this Mach 1 chin spoiler. Now a lot of times Mustang owners try to emulate the classic vibe of the 60s and 70s Mustangs. Not this time. These parts were taken from the 03 and 04 Mach 1s. Now I can't tell you how many times I hear our customers saying that these parts should have been standard equipment on all 99 to 04 Mustangs. Seeing how it completely changes the look of our ride, it's easy to see why. So in stock form, these 99 to 04 GTs are pretty cool, but we wouldn't be car guys if stock was good enough. So we totally transformed our 2000 GT using parts a lot of our customers really enjoy and that can easily be bolted on by anyone. In doing so, we created a look that totally separates our GT apart from the others. Now the focus with this pack is of course acceleration, but in order to accelerate faster, you need traction, and lots of it. That's why a majority of the parts used for our build today are focused on getting us off the line much quicker, ultimately resulting in faster acceleration. But before we go over all the parts we have in store for our 2000 GT here, let's get it out of the shop and do a quick 0 to 60 baseline run just to see where we stand now. All right, before we go installing all our parts for the acceleration pack, we're going to do a baseline 0 to 60 run using my ITSX wireless tuner and my iPad here just to see where the car stands now. So hit start. Here we go. All right, so it looks like we just clicked off a 6.60 to 60 time with our automatic 2000 GT, which is pretty average for this model car. Now we're going to take our car back into the shop, talk a little bit more about some of the parts we have in store, and get them installed. Since traction is the theme of the day, what better way to get more of it than by using a set of these NITTO NT555R drag radials. Those large tread blocks paired with that real soft compound is going to give us a ton of grip both on the street and at the strip and should really help our GT get off the line. To further help our GT hook, we decided to go with some vital suspension components from QA1, starting with these box-style rear lower control arms. Now these bars are a variation of the classic traction bar design and basically help keep the rear axle from moving around under load and especially on hard launches, eliminating any excessive wheel hop. We also decided to go with a set of these QA1 adjustable rear upper control arms that are fully adjustable while still on the car. Now these are going to be key to adjusting our pinion angle, which is not only important for traction, but also for driveline smoothness. These are really going to help firm up the rear end of the car and eliminate any side-to-side sloppiness or wiggle, making the car track a lot straighter and just making for an overall better driving experience. Moving away from our traction and getting into another big contributing factor to our acceleration, that's right, our gearing. Now from the factory, our automatic 2000 GT came with 327 gears, which is pretty weak for acceleration. Now that's where these Ford Racing 410 gears come into play. Now simply put, that shorter gear ratio is going to help our car accelerate faster. And quite frankly, I'm really anxious to see how it's going to wake up our 2-valve motor. So now that you know what we have in store for our GT, we're going to hand the car over to the crew and get everything installed. After they're all done, we're going to take our GT back out on the streets just to see how it behaves on the road and to see if we've improved on our 0 to 60 time. All right, so we're out here on the street with our 2000 GT. We just had the acceleration pack installed by the guys back at the shop, and we're just cruising. I mean, the car is very mild-mannered. We're in overdrive. You'd never be able to tell there's gears in the car until you do a little squeeze on the throttle, and man, does it go. It goes, and it hooks hard too. I mean, we didn't even have a chance to heat cycle the tires right there, and it just dead hooked on the street. Car's a little stiffer in the rear. That's attributed to the stiffer bushings in both the QA1 lower and upper control arms. But that's gonna be a good thing. That's gonna help keep the car straight going down the track. It's also gonna reduce our wheel hop as well, and overall just improve our acceleration. So now that we had a chance to drive the car around on the street a little bit, see how it reacts in everyday situations, we're gonna put it to the ultimate test, get it back to the shop, do a hard launch, and see if these parts work in lowering our 0 to 60 times. All right, so we just finished up our second 0 to 60 run where we just clicked off a 5.9 second 0 to 60. That's over a half a second off our baseline number, so it's easy to see that our acceleration pack is doing its job. And I gotta admit, those radials definitely helped us dead hook on the pavement. Now the goal with this build is pretty simple. We're looking to take some basic suspension components, install them on our 2000 GT here in an effort to make it handle a lot better than it does now in stock form. Now individually, installed each one of these parts should make a slight difference in your car's handling. However, when installed together, like we're gonna do today, they should make a substantial difference in our car's handling and should make our GT handle like it's on rails. First up on the list of parts to install is this black strut tower brace that we have laid into place just so we can see how it's gonna sit. Now this is a very popular first step for making your car handle a little bit better, and it's gonna be pretty easy on your wallet as well. Now basically, this is gonna firm up the front end and help reduce chassis flex and body roll. Now I have to admit, that black powder coated finish is gonna look pretty cool under the hood as well. The next mod we're gonna go with our handling pack is a set of these QA1 caster camber plates. Now these are gonna be very valuable for getting our GT's alignment back in spec after we lower the car. Now a properly set up alignment will not only help your car's handling, but it's also gonna save your tires from premature wear. Speaking of lowering the car, what suspension build would be complete without a set of lowering springs? We're going to install a set of these SR Performance lowering springs, which should lower our GT roughly about 1.5 inches or so on all 4 corners. Not only will this help our ride handle a lot better thanks to that lower center of gravity, but it's also going to help our appearance as well by getting rid of that ugly wheel gap. Last but certainly not least are these front and rear sway bars from Eibach. Now sway bars are one of the biggest factors to help reduce body roll and are a great tool for fine-tuning your suspension. Now from the factory, most Mustangs have the tendency to plow or push through turns. This is referred to as understeer. By installing a larger rear sway bar and tweaking the front, you're actually going to get rid of that understeer and induce a little bit of oversteer, which means the rear of the car is going to come through the turns much quicker and actually make the car a little bit more fun to drive. So those are the parts we have in store for our GT here today. Now let's get everything installed so I can get our GT out of the shop and onto the streets and see the difference this handling pack makes. All right, so we just got our 2000 GT out of the shop and onto the street here, and it took me all of 5 seconds to realize what a difference this handling pack made to our ride. Gone is the kind of floaty, disconnected feeling that our Mustang used to have, and it actually now feels like a sports car. It feels like it should. Much more firm, much more planted, even going straight. Obviously through the turns it's a lot better as well, but the car just feels like it wants to respond to your actions a lot more, making you feel like you're actually part of the car, which is great. And even just slight turn to turn, going straight here, like I said, the car just reacts well to whatever you want to do to it. We have a nice right-hander coming up. Let's see how the car reacts with our new mods installed. All right, oh, so much better. The car is just so firm and so planted going through the turns. That can definitely be attributed to those sway bars working with that SR Performance strut tower brace to really reduce our body roll and our chassis flex. We got a nice left-hander coming up as well. Oh yeah, you could totally come into the turn now with a lot more speed and have much more confidence going through the turns. Now the nice thing about the springs too, obviously they lower the car, make it look a lot better and handle a lot better, but it's also better for our acceleration and our braking. The car does not want to nose down now when you're hard on the brakes coming into a turn, making it feel a lot more solid. Now those QA1 caster camber plates, probably not going to make the biggest difference in your everyday drive. However, it was able to get our car back into spec after we lowered it about 1.5 inches, just so we didn't chew up our tires and made for a lot better handling. So there you have it. This handling pack really made a world of difference on our GT and really made our car a lot more fun to drive. With this power pack, we put together some products that we feel are great first-time mods and that will give any 99 to 04 Mustang GT a serious boost in power. So we're going to grab a quick baseline run and then hand our GT over to the crew so they can get started installing our power pack. Hey, what's going on, Mike?
Hey man, nothing. Just finished an installation of our mods and we're about to make another dyno run.
Very nice. Yeah, it looks great under here. What do you got going on under the hood?
Well, first we installed an Airaid cold air intake kit that comes with a high flow reusable air filter so you never have to replace it. The Airaid is going to increase airflow to the engine to allow it to breathe better and make more horsepower, and it's also going to help on fuel efficiency.
Yeah, if you could stay off the pedal, right?
Yeah.
I see we also got the BBK installed. What's up with that?
This is the one-piece throttle intake that incorporates a throttle body and the plenum. That way you can have a bigger throttle body and not worry about restricting the airflow with a factory plenum.
Mike, I know with this generation and these mods, we shouldn't really need a tune, right?
Right, they don't require a tune, but we are going to install a BAMA Performance custom tune to help kind of tie everything together. And especially being an automatic, it's going to help on our shift firmness, our shift points, and overall create a real good package.
That's awesome, man. Now I know in conjunction with these mods, we also have the Pypes Off-Road X-Pipe going on, along with that Flowmaster American Thunder Series catback as well. What kind of numbers are you expecting from all these mods?
We should expect to see around 20 to 25 horsepower to the tire.
Sounds good to me, man. You ready to do another run?
Absolutely, let's do it.
All right. So our baseline run on our automatic 2000 GT gave us 222 horsepower and 260 foot-pound of torque. With our power pack installed, we made 249 horsepower and 295 foot-pound of torque, giving us a peak gain of 27 horsepower over our baseline numbers and gains of 35 horsepower and 54 foot-pound of torque throughout the curve. So as you can see, we just finished up our second dyno run and we're definitely happy with the results. The best part is all these mods were installed easily in just a few hours using basic hand tools. So now let's get our GT off the dyno jet and onto the streets so we can hear that Flowmaster in action and see what these mods did for our motor. All right, now that we've got our GT out of the shop and onto the streets and been able to put it through its paces a little bit, it's easy to see why these bolt-ons are such a popular first choice with so many Mustang owners out there, especially these 99 to 04s. Those bolt-ons really woke up our 2-valve motor, especially paired with that BAMA tune, which has really firmed up our shifts as well. So be sure to check out some of our other bolt-on build-ups where we improve our handling, work on our acceleration, and dress up our GT a little bit.